we are live. We are live. It is Dickmas Day. You know what I mean? Because, you know, dicks are funny, balls are funny, asses are funny, butts are funny, boobies are funny, melons are funny. Lately, I've come into the habit of referring to them as milkers. So, every once in a while, just out of random, I'll say, nice milkers. It has no relevance. It's more of a non sequitur than anything else. But hey, we are 36 seconds in, well now, 40 seconds. Okay, good. Timed it just right. 40 seconds into 2023's Christmas stream. Since I wasn't able to have a video ready in time for this Christmas, we're going to compromise by doing a stream. Okay, we got Peep Knox. How you doing, Peep Knox? You're always making it to my streams. Captain. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you so much. Captain. Spelled with a K. Kind of reminds me of KMFDM. You know, Captain Crunch. Merry Chrysler. Yeah, Chrysler ought to be merry. The amount of ripping people off that they do with their shitty engineering. Ugh, hate Chrysler products. Hi, Killbot McNoodles. How you doing? Cole Glover. Merry Christmas. Just got done listening to Astro Creep 2000. Oh, lovely. You know what my Christmas soundtracks usually are? Van Halen. I don't know why. It just, I usually got Van Halen albums for Christmas when I was a kid, so I don't know, like Top of the World and Beautiful Girls and Dance the Night Away. Like those embody the Christmas spirit, you know, the feel-good spirit, you know? I did get the Best of Both Worlds Greatest Hits album when I was probably 10 or 11 years old for Christmas. And then the next year I asked for Van Halen 1. True story. Dysphoria Software. Merry Christmas. Got tickets for In Flames. Hopefully they play a set of old stuff. Butchered. Stay psycho. You mean like this? Psycho? Okay. Zach Durant. Merry Fuckmas. Hey, thank you. Music and More AJ. Funny you said that because the last week has been Van Halen week. Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine this morning and he was like, you know, David Lee Roth was a better showman, but and the songs and the albums were better, but Sammy Hagar was a better singer. I said, well, that's not a disagreeable opinion. I'm going to throw a hot take out. I think Gary Cherone was a great vocalist. He was just poorly misused on Van Halen 3. Because if you listen to Cherone with Extreme, he actually sounds really good. But Cherone didn't really have anything to do with the songwriting of Van Halen 3. That was more Eddie just not knowing what the hell he was doing. And he had a new vocalist, which was Gary, who wasn't going to argue back with him, who wasn't going to clash with him, who wasn't going to get in an ego war with him. You know, he was just going to do what he was told. You know, it's a shame that it ended up that way because Cherone was actually a great singer. He sucked on that album. Goodness. Like, okay, Captain, you got a BC Rich zombie neck. Awesome. That's cool. Excuse me. Generally Rye Guy got tickets to Swans. Can't wait to go deaf. They're coming to Richmond in April. I would love to see them. I get the feeling that Michael is fearing for his life at this point. You know, that seems to be a theme for the last couple of Swans albums is he's talking about mortality. Same thing with Bowie. You know, Bowie was talking about mortality on his last album, and then what happened? He died 2 days later. Gabba Gabba Hey Tony by They Live We Sleep. I was listening to the Ramones' New York City 1978 this morning. It's a better live album than It's Alive because there's no studio fixing, there's no processing, and the show in general just has more energy. You know, instead of being recorded in London, it's recorded in New York City, where they stomp from. Well, where they come from. Stomping ground. You get the idea. Butchered, any thoughts on Kerry King's new band? Well, I gotta listen to it first. Let's see if they release any music. Or maybe they have and I'm out of touch. Wouldn't that be some shit? Speaking of new music, how about the new Deicide that drops today? Oh, yeah. Their first song to be released in 5 years. And you know what that means when they're getting ready to release a new album? It means they're gonna tour, too. I've seen Deicide twice. Incredible live band. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch them last time they came through because I got damn COVID. Man! I would have loved to have seen them a third time, but you know, okay, I'm gonna just wave through my hair. See, I'm doing my model hair thing, you know what I mean? Loki, what's your opinion on Liebach, Opus Die? I think I have that on CD. No, that's not the one I have. The one I have is Nova something. It's pretty good. Underrated band, you know? You got an Ozzy album, a Rush album, and an album called Human Equals Garbage. Ooh, that sounds like a fucking great Christmas, man. Wet Air, you got a Guar shirt for Christmas. Hey, you should listen to Guar's Christmas song. It's called Stripper Island Christmas, I think. Hold on. Let's see. Let me look this up. Guar Christmas. Because I have it. Stripper Christmas Summer Weekend. That's what it's called. All right, Roaring Rat. I think that's how you say your name. I cried tears of happiness this morning when my parents told me that they bought tickets to see NoFX. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. New Deicide. Yep, it's called Bury Christ with Your Cross, I think it's called. It's pretty good. I mean, the production's a little slick for what I like my death metal to sound like, but the musicianship's really good. Now, people are going to scream left and right, oh, bring back the Hoffmans! Dude, these new guys are breathing new life into the band. You know, honestly, Deicide started sucking while the Hoffmans were still in the band. Like, people forget, Incinerate Him and In Torment and Hell, those albums sucked. You know, like, they can romanticize the Hoffmans all they want, but those albums sucked. And then when they got Ralph Santola and Jack Owen for The Stench of Redemption, oh boy, that lit a fire under their asses, man. So fucking good. So, let me tell you about a gift that I got this morning. So this is a Stanley Cup with Killbot engraved on it. Thanks, Grandma. It's kept my drink cold all day. This is the same Mountain Dew I got at the gas station at 7 a.m. this morning. So good, man. Dew from the mountain. Tastes best from the fountain. It is 4:05. Let's see how long I can keep this up. Naturally, the more super chats I get, the longer I'm going to keep doing it, but I don't want to pressure anybody to spend all their Christmas money, you know? Like you see on eBay all the time around Christmas time, oh, unwanted gift card to Lowe's or Walmart or Toys R Us, but you never see unwanted $20 bill. Shit. You know? Well, hey, if any of you have any unwanted $20 bills, you know, maybe I'll do a dance or something. In fact, something that I want to do also, I've been playing with my synthesizers. The reason that there hasn't been a video this month is because I have been balls deep working on the upcoming video, and more specifically, the music for it. Some of you may have seen in my last stream that I got this bad boy right here. This is the Behringer Pro 1 analog synthesizer. It is the remake of Sequential Circuit's Prophet 1. And the bass tones on this bastard are nuts, man! I tracked with it yesterday, and you know what I made a mistake on doing? With digital synths, and for those who saw the last stream, I also own a Higher Synth Explorer. Digital synths are in tune right away. You can play them right away. All you gotta do is flip the switch, and the sound comes from the little computer. Analog synths, on the other hand, from what I understand, the sound comes from electricity and the circuits and the capacitors inside them. And what has to happen is you have to let them warm up for a few minutes before they can be properly in tune. So I let it warm up, but my mistake was the master tune knob over here was not tuned properly. It sounded okay to my ears, but when I tracked it and listened back to it, and tracked something on top of it with the Hydra synth, all of a sudden the frequencies were clashing like crazy. And so all I did, I took a guitar tuner and tweaked this knob up until it hit right dead center and retracked everything, and now it sounds like a goddamn masterpiece. So good. So of the many things I want to do on this live stream, I want to show you some of the music that I've been working on because I'm pretty proud of it. Let's see. Those who have been following my Instagram and even my Facebook, I've been posting some of the music that I've been doing. I also posted the full songs on my Patreon. Get it? So, yeah, some of you may have heard snippets already, but I'm going to show you more over here. And I may want to come up with 1 or 2 more songs before I continue with the video. But the idea is the narration for the video is completely done. That's usually the hardest and longest thing to do when it comes to these types of videos, because the narration is the meat of the video, and that's what you base your video footage on. And yeah, it ties the video together. And then when you add the music, that also ties the video together, because that helps with the pacing. Even mundane and boring parts in the video can be lifted with just the right soundtrack. And in this case, there's so much that I can cut, so much I can show with just the right music. And so I'm wanting to make music for the parts where Lead into Gold plays. I'm making music for the parts where Skinny Puppy is playing. I'm making parts where I'm just walking around the cemetery and walking around Los Angeles and hanging out with Jax and hanging out with Anna and doing whatever. And hanging out with Dre, you know, obviously, you know, all the lovely people I got to see. Shannon. Hey, Shannon, how you doing? But look at me name drop everybody. Hey, it's Christmas. They can't all be mad at me. But yeah, so been making music and having a lot of fun with it. And the cool thing is the Hydra synth, it's easier to pick up and play. But this guy right here, it's an analog synth, which means what I have to do, I have to plug it into the Hydra synth to use the Hydra synth as a controller to play the notes. But the squelches and the oscillators and the modulation on this thing, just all these squelchy, squealy fucking sounds out of it are just awesome. And yes, there is some of that in the upcoming music. So let's get back to reading these comments, shall we? Generally GY. Okay, I'm just going to call you generally gay because, you know, I'm in a Seth Putnam mood. I got Swans, Opeth, and Judas Priest vinyl for Christmas. Well, that's cool. You know, I remember when I was a teenager, I got Possessed, Carcass, and Skinny Puppy and 9 Inch Nails records for Christmas. Now I don't do anything with records, but it's fun to look back, isn't it? Zika Pika. 5 or 10 most overrated metal bands. Metallica, and Baby Metal. Okay. Your mama got me Iron Maiden tickets for November. Well, that's really cool, man. Trish 10, what albums are you looking forward to in 2024? I'm looking forward to that new Ghoul EP. It's called Noxious Emissions, or something like that. Hold up. Let's see. Ghoul Noxious Concoctions, that's what it's called. Yeah. They already released a song for it, and they're going to be on tour with Municipal Waste. Municipal Waste is gonna fuck you up, and so will Ghoul. Each time I see Ghoul, they only get better and better. I mean, there was just no way to beat Halloween's show. Well, close to Halloween. You know, I'd see Ghoul fight these monsters on stage, and right behind me, the venue, they were doing this fundraiser for a skate park. It was called Hollow Wolfbat, and they had these giant dragons and monsters and wolves fighting each other in the pit. They had like several people operate, so I'd see monsters fight on stage, then I'd turn around and see monsters fight in the mosh pit too. It was fucking awesome, man. God, just when I think that shows can't be topped, somehow they find a way to top it. Black 25, nice cup. Spell I cup. ICUP. Misfits fan 13. I got a blanket with metal albums on it, so I hanged it up on my wall, and it has Maiden, Slayer, and more. Well, that's lovely. That's lovely. I remember getting a Killbot blanket for Christmas a couple years ago. I still got it. Need to get it out, but a random metalhead. You got a guitar for Christmas. A lot of people get guitars for Christmas. What'd you get, my man? Black 25. It's not metal related, but do you know Raw Time? No, never heard of it. Zach Durant. How do you feel about the new Autopsy and Exhumed albums released recently? I think the new Autopsy is the best they've done in years. To be honest with you, Macabre Eternal was awesome. Like, other than the track listing being lopsided, the album itself was really good. And the albums afterwards, each time I listened to them, I was like, yep, sounds like Autopsy. You know, there's nothing really new, nothing experimental. But this time, you know, there's there is a little bit of new and experimental stuff on there, and also it's just nastier than the last few, so that's what I like. You know, I'd say this is the best album they've done since Macabre Eternal. As far as Exhumed goes, the last one I heard was Death Revenge, and haven't heard anything since, but I have no doubt that if Exhumed is doing it, it's probably really fucking good. So, Metal Manic, hey, how you doing, man? I was watching a 1952 Looney Tunes Christmas episode called Gift Wrapped, and then listened to my favorite Megadeth album, Peace Sells, for Christmas. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, speaking of Looney Tunes, I visited Mel Blanc's grave at Hollywood Forever Cemetery while I was in Los Angeles. It was cool. He had "That's All, Folks" written on his gravestone. Loki, are you going to see KMFDM in 2024? I would absolutely love to. So many bands touring. My wallet can't take it. So Queensryche's going to be touring, or let me say the Jeff Tate-less version. Excuse me. The Jeff Tate-less version of Queensryche. They're going to be touring, playing classic Queensryche songs. We have KMFDM, Ghoul, Swans, Queens of the Stone Age, that rescheduled show from Raleigh that got rained out. My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult. Crypta, I already have a ticket for that. Okay, so that's 7 off the top of my head, and I'm sure that a bunch of people are going to be like, oh, add this and this and this to the list, but really, I can only take so much. Oh yeah, I know that Cannibal Corpse and Amon Amarth, I think. Let's see, Amon Amarth is touring. I don't remember if Cannibal Corpse is on that bill, but I'm not going to be seeing that because they're going to Asheville, and I've already seen those bands. So the main thing I've been focusing on the past year, and going forward I'm going to continue focusing on, is seeing bands that I haven't seen already. Because the thing is, if you've been into metal for a long time and you've been going to shows for a long time, you end up seeing a lot of the same bands over and over. I've seen Obituary 7 times. So yeah, there's like, I love Obituary to death, but like you end up taking for granted how often they tour because they tour so much. So like on one hand you want to see these bands, but also you want to save money for bands that you haven't seen. So you know, there's that. Rare and obscure. Early Hypocrisy or later Hypocrisy? Well, the later stuff's more polished, but the early stuff's got that youthful death metal spirit. And that's what I like, man. It's like Entombed. They really should have called it quits after Wolverine Blues. Because who gives a shit about anything past it? Alright, let's see. A-Man98, how you doing, man? Felix Orlando, hello. How you doing? Wonderful. A-Man, already gonna be seeing them. Cool. Loisa Smith, Killbot, you drive me crazy. Well, that's good. I can also drive an airplane. I can drive a bulldozer. You know, little Rocky reference for you, for all 5 of you who would get that joke. Peep Knox, for Christmas, I got a cattle decapitation and Cannibal Corpse file. Well, that's lovely. Lovely. Killbot's sexy. Damn right I am. Have you been seeing those pictures I've been posting on Instagram lately? There's the one with me in the synthesizer. I'm looking all graceful. I'm like... And then there's one with me in the trench coat the other night. I'm like, I mean, I didn't put it on for any particular reason. I was just, I don't know. I felt like putting on a trench coat and taking pictures because that's what I do. And of course, everybody's over there like, oh, you look like the Crow. Yeah, that's a good observation. The Busy Metalhead. Holy shit, it's been a while since I've been here. Damn right it has. Glad you can make it back, my man. Plenty of stuff on the horizon. I want to have this new video out before the year is out, hopefully. Which is a bad move on my part, because YouTube views in general take it up the ass across the board. Even for the big channels. You know, there's a reason why a lot of channels take breaks towards the end of December, because nobody's up there watching YouTube. But I have faith in this video, and whenever I decide to upload it, it's going to be a fucking masterpiece. It's going to be the Gone with the Wind of this year's videos for Killbot. And it's going to open differently, okay? So, why don't I show you at least one of the songs that I worked on. Okay, hopefully it plays this without messing up the audio here. Here's the intro song. Well, crud. I guess it might only work if I play this and don't say anything, but then I'd have to worry about feedback. You know what? I'm going to play this and be quiet, and you tell me if there's any feedback coming from the speakers, okay? Yeah, there's feedback. I can't do it. Fuck. Okay, well, you're just going to have to look at my Instagram and look at my Patreon and all that other stuff. Damn it. Like, maybe if I were using a mixing console or something to do these live streams, I'd do it, but, well, such is life. Okay. Pete Knox. Have you ever heard of the music project Gnaw Their Tongues? No. Was Smith, you're a hot girl in your underwear. Put some damn pants on. It's cold out. What's your favorite ministry side project? Probably Palehead. I mean, it was a one-off EP, but man, it was so potent and so aggressive. Like, with Lard, there are songs that I really like, and then there are a few songs where I'm like, what are you doing? Revco, like, the early Revco is amazing. Everything post-reunion is a fucking joke. 1000 Homo DJs is alright. Pressuring the Psycho Drill is okay. Acid Horse is alright. Nah, Acid Horse is pretty cool. But, yeah, Palehead. It's a shame they never released more music. Do you like Green Jelly? Yes, I do. Generally gay. Has your favorite bands changed in the top 17 list, or is it still Gwar? Well, I'd say that it switches between Gwar, 9 Inch Nails, and Skinny Puppy in the past several months. It really depends on the day. Generally, that list has kind of stayed static, but I would add Agalok if that wasn't already on the list. It's been a while since I've seen the video. But, yeah, Agalok, Susie and the Banshees, The Cure, Fields of the Nephilim. Who else would I add on that list? I'm sure if I look around the room, I'll see bands that I'm missing, but I don't know. We'll see. I do want to update my favorite albums list because there have been a few different favorite albums pop up over the past few years. Exorder's Slaughter in the Vatican is one of them. Agalok's Marrow of the Spirit, I suppose, is another. Just so much great music, and what's nice about it is that I'm not stuck listening to music that I was hooked on when I was 12, 13 years old. You know, a lot of people, they get hooked on stuff when they were listening to when they were teenagers, and they stay listening to that stuff and don't ever experiment, ever. Me, I'm usually, like, sometimes I'm reluctant to listen to new bands just because, you know, I'd rather listen to stuff I already know, but I am always exploring, you know. Okay. Got some updates for you, Killbot. I'm stupidly into Machine Head as of lately, and I even got a shirt from them as a Christmas gift. Hey, that's really cool. The Blackening is a great album. Burn My Eyes and The More Things Change are great albums, but the thing about Machine Head to me is, I don't know, like, I've heard most of their albums. I have most of their albums digitally. I don't know, man. It's like, they seem like a band to me that's just set on following trends. Like, they started off really good, then they got really shitty with the new metal albums they did. And then they got good again and then got bad again. I don't know. There's just no consistency. And Rob Flynn, he kind of gets on my nerves sometimes with his little commentaries on the world, but I don't know. I mean, some people love him for it. It gives them the drive to write music, so let them have it. It is 4:22 right now. I've had the same Mountain Dew in this cup all goddamn day since 7 a.m. this morning, and it's still cold. Now that is what you call a good gift. Early Frontline Assembly or early Ministry? I say early Ministry. Wait a minute. Okay, now it's showing. I'd say early Ministry because... Okay, Loisa, you're gonna get blocked if you don't... Okay, I'm gonna put you in timeout. Okay, thank you. I'd say that Ministry was already good in the beginning, with the strange exception of With Sympathy, which there were only a couple songs on it I like. And Frontline, I think it took them a few albums to get really good. You know, like, I love Frontline to death, but they started getting really good around Tactical Neural Implant. I would say that their 90s albums are the best albums they've ever done. And then after that, it's hit and miss. I did not like the last album. However, the new Cyberactive is getting ready to come out in February. Oh, that's another album I'm excited for. And that already sounds better than the last Frontline. There's only been one song released as a single. And it's pretty damn good. In preparation for it, I tried buying the first album from the 90s off of eBay. And the seller listed it incorrectly. I thought that I was buying the 2-disc version, the remastered version from a few years ago, and she accidentally sent me the original. And so I asked her, and had to wait a couple days because she was in the hospital, of course, that, hey, this was not what I paid for. So she offered me a partial refund. And when she offered me that partial refund, I sold the CD to a friend and rebought the album as the 2-disc remastered version. Well, he got it, and little did I realize until he pointed it out, he said, hey, this isn't the album. This is actually the single. I'm like, fuck! So she double lied to me, that whore! Man. But same thing with KMFDM, I think. I think it took them a few albums to get really good. I'd say that UAIOE is probably the first good KMFDM album, and then Money is the first classic KMFDM album. Megan Raquel, hey, how you doing? Megan's going to be the one that's going to help me for this giveaway that I'm doing. So this upcoming video, I have a Skinny Puppy poster, not a signed one. A Skinny Puppy poster that was just given to me after the last show. And Megan held on to it for me and is still doing so. I sent her a box, and when this upcoming video on the trip and the shows comes out, I'm going to do a giveaway for the poster. It's going to involve you sharing, you following, you subscribing, etc. And the winner gets the poster. And they get a little special gift from me! So there you go. Edward, what's your view on modern metalcore? Boring as shit. Bring it back to the MySpace days. Craig's Clouds discovered a cool band this year called Spotlights. They released Alchemy for the Dead, Doomy band. Ooh, Doom is interesting, man. That's why my last song I released was Doom Metal. Do all sorts of textures and stuff. Generally gay. Will you ever go on tour? I would love to. You know, maybe I'll get together with some good musicians and maybe I'll tour as a roadie. I'd like to be a roadie someday, or work part of the sound crew, perhaps. That'd be pretty cool. Aiden Cat, do you still drink Mountain Dew? Love your CD collection, by the way. Thank you. Well, here's an answer to your question. Good. All right, you're talking about Phantomus? Yeah, never heard. So. And Blake the Beast finally made a live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Rare and obscure. Jewel cases or digipacks. I say jewel cases because you can replace them easily. Digipacks, once they're damaged, that's it. Speaking of CDs and CD buying, I did find a reasonably rare or scarce CD on Discogs. You know the band Prick? You know what? Let me find this. Prick, the industrial rock band from the 90s, and if I can point this towards the camera. Yep, so good. One of Trent Reznor's co-producing credits. Damn good album. That was released in '95, and then Kevin McMahon, the leader of that group, He didn't release another album for another 7 years. So that album was released independently, to my knowledge. And it was eventually re-released into a box set with Prick stuff and Lucky Pierre stuff, which was his band before Prick. And now it's really hard to find. So, found a copy on Discogs, and it happened to also be signed by Kevin. So, yeah, picked that up. That's going to be on the way, hopefully soon. And, yeah, I look forward to it. Kevin McMahon, great musician, but strangely enough, he just fell off the face of the planet. Sometime in the 2010s, he just dropped off social media, stopped updating his websites, and just dropped off the face of the earth. So, yeah, gonna be excited to listen to that. Thomas Johnson, Merry Christmas. Hey, Merry Christmas to you too. Loki, have you seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Yes, I have. It's cool. Sure, the book's even better. Cobra, hello, how you doing? You managed to get a copy of In Battle There Is No Law by Bolt Thrower for $25. Well, fortunately, that album's reasonably easier to find than some of the other ones. I don't know. Because, like, Back on Black re-released it, and then Vinyl Conflict keeps re-releasing it, so there you go. Quinn Sinclair, hey, I have questions for you, just subscribe. How about you subscribe, motherfucker? Luca Klon, hello, how you doing? Heavy Metal Mega Fan, do you like the new Suffocation album? I hadn't heard any Suffocation since the 2017 one, and I can't... Of the Dark Light, that's what it's called. Honestly, I just don't care about Suffocation anymore. Like, I saw them with Frank the third time I saw them, and it was weird enough without Mike Smith. Because Mike Smith was the feel of the band. You know, he was technical, but he was the feel of the band. So it was weird enough without him, but it was weird enough seeing Suffocation without Frank twice. And then when I finally saw him, I was like, yep, so I just saw Frank. He was better than the other two guys, and now I never need to see Suffocation ever again. So, yeah. At this point, it's just Terrence and his hired guns. All due respect, I love Terrence Hobbs. I love what he's built over the years, and I love Suffocation's music. I just don't really want to hear new stuff from them or see them on tour again. So, there you go. Tommy the Train, Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. Let's see, Bathory, Face Orange Biting, Genova Virus. They released a demo for splitting. Oh, that's cool. Zach Durant found a more rare death metal album. Band called Carbonized. That Swedish death metal band, Carbonized. I know them. Quinn Sinclair, would you like to go to Gula Municipal Waste in February in Omaha? You can crash at my place and I would buy his tickets. Omaha. Well, the thing is, I'm in North Carolina, so there you go. LG, Graves or Danzig? Danzig all the way, but I don't mind listening to the Graves stuff, even if he is a fucking terrorist and an asshole. Some people don't listen to that era of Misfits now because of that specifically. Personally, I don't think it's fair to punish the other three members of the band who didn't participate in... let's not talk politics here. But either era is still better than the Jerry only fronted era. That guy can't sing. As long as Hobbs is in the band, I'm good with Suffocation. Well, that's good, man. And Hobbs is a trip, man. He's funny as hell. I really miss Mike Smith, my favorite drummer, actually. I think he gives drum lessons on his website. Quinn Sinclair, I would buy the plane ticket. Now you're talking. Arch, what are your thoughts on Ministries with Sympathy? Half the album's okay, but some of those songs are just better in their demo forms. I have the... It says it's right behind me. I can show you. I have the Ministry tracks box, which has some of the demos from the With Sympathy era. Honestly, like, I prefer the Wax Trax singles far more than I prefer With Sympathy, and Twitch especially. Twitch is fucking awesome, man. But it blows my mind sometimes when people say, oh, yeah, With Sympathy is the best Ministry album. I'm like, what fucking drugs are you smoking, man? Like, I know not everybody's favorite album is going to be Filth Pig. That's my favorite Ministry album. But, like, synth pop Ministry, come on now. and I do listen to a little synth pop, you know, being, you know, more of a listener of goth and industrial and dark wave music. You know, I tolerate that early Ministry stuff more. But, like, come on now. Like, even Twitch is better than With Sympathy. Way better, because Twitch, it was like, he was still faking the English accent, but it was a raw, dirty, nasty album. You can tell some drugs were taken during that album. God damn. Just listen to The Angel. Oh. Did you get the Japanese version of Purge by Godflesh? No, I didn't. I was going to, and then I said, I don't need it. Quinn Sinclair, what airplane would be the cheapest? Like Frontier, Southwest? Probably Frontier. Okay, so what else? Oh, so let's talk about this weird thing that's been going on. So I have gotten a lot of followers on my Instagram page in the past couple weeks. And it's the weirdest thing. So there's this Sam Kinison bit in his first HBO special, Breaking All the Rules. He's talking about getting married and how hard it is being married and why you shouldn't get married. And he's talking about finding new women and falling in love again. And he's like, yeah, you know, women, they walk up to you, you're feeling down, they walk up to you, they go, hey, is that your heart? I mean, that was the skit he did. And all I did, I recorded myself reenacting this skit. I just walk up to the camera, I go, hey, is that your heart? And for some reason, it's freezing on my end. Is it freezing here? Okay, so hopefully that's just the laptop. But okay, hopefully that's just the laptop, damn it. Okay, people, please tell me if I'm frozen at all. What's my favorite dystopia album? That would be Human Equals Garbage. Underscore is here too. Hey, how you doing, man? But, okay, I'm sorry. I'm just fixated on this stuck screen right here, which is sort of unsticking and also doing it at the same time. Okay, folks, it wouldn't be a Killbot stream without any kind of, okay, I'm good. Okay, people keep saying I'm good. I'm not seeing your comments here, but I'm seeing them on the phone, so. Anyway, so I reenacted the Sam Kinison skit. Hey, is that your heart? And for some reason, like, this was just a normal average post for me. And for some reason, it has caught on like wildfire on goddamn Instagram. It's got like 15,000 likes at least. It's got over 100,000 views. And it's like, okay, so this thing that accidentally somehow became this massive viewed reel that I wasn't even trying to get big. But all these other posts, I'm over here posting over and over again, hey, I have new music out, I have new music out, I have new music out. Nobody fucking looks at it, ever. So I don't know what happened. It just hit the algorithm just right, and I've gotten over 1,000 followers since then. Wow. I mean, just an insane number of likes and followers and new commenters, and then a bunch of assholes going, oh, are you autistic? Yeah, heaven forbid you have a sense of humor and act expressive and be funny. Then everybody wants to ask, oh, are you autistic? You go fuck yourself, you fucking cunts. But but yeah, just posts I wasn't even trying to get popular, got super popular, and yeah. You know, I wish I knew the answers. I wish I knew the secrets. Otherwise, I'd be exploiting that, you know, algorithm button every chance I got. But man, like, working hard doesn't necessarily mean that your videos are going to get big views, unfortunately. You know, it's not 2012 anymore, which sucks, but whatever. Okay, Phil Killbot, I found a ticket. I would just have to save money. Would you fly on it? I don't know if we're being serious here or if we're just bullshitting, but you'll have to message about this. Anyway, so Yeah. So, influx of Instagram followers. Hopefully those people actually check out the channel. If any of you are here from Instagram and you're one of these new followers, welcome. I'm a total necrophiliac. So, among the things that have come to my attention since the last stream, because there are a few updates, the last stream I was talking about Roz Williams' ashes and going to visit Roz Williams' urn at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Now, for those who aren't familiar or didn't hear the story, Roz Williams, he was the guitar player and leader of a band called Christian Death, the pioneering death rock band from the 1980s. And he died in the late 90s, and he was cremated, and he has a niche in Hollywood Forever Cemetery in the columbarium. Well, when I was in Los Angeles a couple weeks ago, I wanted to visit Roz. I asked the desk lady how I could find him, and she said, "Oh yeah, his ashes were taken to India." I'm like, huh? It was weird she said India, because I had people send me pictures of going to visit Roz, and Wikipedia and everywhere said that the ashes were in the urn in Hollywood Forever. So I figured maybe she either misheard me or she mistook him for somebody else. So I went to look for him anyway, saw him there. It was really hard to find the columbarium entrance and a little difficult to find him. But once I did find him, it was eerie. It was the only time I've ever gotten spooked visiting a dead person. I was the only person in the building. I played some Christian Death from my phone, paid my respects to Roz. There was a little poem by Roz in the window, and I read that aloud, and sound traveled. Since I was the only person in the room, sound traveled. I could hear every footstep I made, every word I said, and after about 20 minutes of sitting there, I was like, okay, time for me to get out of here. I was the only person in that whole building. But the thing about the ashes bugged me, because when I looked at it on Wikipedia, Wikipedia said that his ashes were spread over Runyon Canyon, down the street from where he used to live. It said nothing about India. Like, I Googled Roz Williams, India. Nothing came up. And then Wikipedia was saying Runyon Canyon. And so then I was like, fuck, man, I gotta find out if I actually saw Roz or if I just paid respects to an empty urn. So I went on social media to see if any of his siblings were on there, because as far as I know, he has 2 siblings still alive. And as it turns out, Nico B., who released a Roz Williams book, he's making a documentary about Roz Williams. It's supposed to be coming out in 2024. And I messaged, I said, hey, so I'm hearing all these different things about the ashes. And I told him specifics. And I told him, look, I heard that some of his ashes were spread. And I also heard that the urn is empty and that it's just a memorial spot. So what happened with the ashes? And are there any ashes in the urn? And Nico responded within a day, I think. And he was like, yeah, the thing about people is they like to talk a lot of bullshit without knowing what the hell without knowing anything, basically. So, some of his ashes were spread over Runyon Canyon, over the actor's, the late actor Errol Flynn's home that burned down, I heard. And some of his ashes were given to friends and family, and some of his ashes, not a lot, but some of them are indeed in the urn. And he says he knew this because he changed out some of the artworks in the cabinet. So, yeah. I mean, that was enough to lead me to believe that he was probably there when the fucking shit was spread. So, yeah, like, who else would know? So, yeah. That was really cool to get a definitive answer on that. Hopefully they put that in the documentary, because I'm sure that I'm not the only person who was confused by this. So, in conclusion, Roz Williams was not taken to India. Some of his ashes are at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and yes, some of his ashes were spread over the hills at Runyon Canyon, over the hill by late actor Errol Flynn's home, Okay, so yeah. I mean, it's just it was a little mystery I had to solve because I'm a bit of an investigator myself. So, you know, like a lot of people, they like to take this weird bullshit rumor information at face value. Oh, something else I found out about Roz. There are biographies, and even his Wikipedia page says that when he died, he left a rose. He didn't leave a note, but he left a rose. Apparently, and this is coming from another source, apparently that's bullshit too. Apparently there wasn't a rose. Yeah, just interesting what you find out. And also, it's interesting the amount of bullshit that gets spread after an iconic person dies. You know? Like, I know that he was a cool, iconic person that released amazing music. He was a great artist. But, like, tell the truth, people. Don't mythologize his life after he dies. He's a human being like the rest of us. Man, I hope that when I die, whatever decade that is, I hope that when I die, people tell the truth. You know, I don't want people saying, "Oh yeah, when he was hit by the drunk driver, he had a he had a unicorn dildo up his ass, and he had his nipples clamped to a battery in the backseat." I mean, I'm gonna be dead. I won't be able to do anything about it, but I will come back and haunt your asses, motherfuckers. Slum, thoughts on the Final Kiss show? Man, they're gonna continue their careers as AI avatars? What? That's bullshit, man. Don't pay your money to see that shit. Pay your money to see real bands, real people playing real instruments. That's what I call an experience. Hey, what's up, man? Think that at this live, there are only people who don't have friends to celebrate Christmas. Well, you see, the thing is, for Christmas, for a lot of people, you open presents in the morning, and then the rest of the day, it's like, okay, now what? That's why there's a big tradition for a lot of people to go to the movies on Christmas Day, because really, after you open presents, what else is there to do? I mean, there's Christmas dinner, you might watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but that's really about it. There's that new Emma Stone movie, Poor Things. I saw the trailers for that. It looks great. I want to go see it. But I guess it's one of those indie movies, so the only theaters that are playing it are 30 miles away from me. It's like, damn it. There's going to be a goth night on New Year's Eve, and it's possible that I may go see it in Raleigh before I go to goth night. So, we'll see. They live, we sleep. I mean, that's like saying, oh, when he died, shit was flying out of his ass. Yeah. Anger Bodo Lauren. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? George Arnold. Merry Christmas. Hey, thank you so much. Sorry for being mega late. Hey, don't be sorry. I'm glad you made it. I'm so glad you made it. All right, make sure I'm not missing any comments. All right, making sure I'm not missing any comments. And we have been streaming for 48 minutes. So, yeah. If anybody wants to donate any of that Christmas money they got today, like in the super chats of the stream, for instance, maybe I'll do a little dance for you. Aiden Cat, how do you take care of your hair? Well, so I use this Apogee Shea Pro Leave-In Moisturizer after I get out of the shower while the hair is still wet. Apply it liberally because it does keep your hair soft. Apogee also does a protein treatment that I put in my hair between shampoo and conditioner, and that helps restore some of the proteins and keeps the hair nice and silky and soft. I started using Adelle shampoo and conditioner because one of my favorite YouTubers also uses that, and her hair is majestic. So, yeah. And at this point, I only wash my hair once a week. You know, I used to wash it 2 to 3 times a week, or I used to wash it every other night, but that meant that it got oily a lot quicker. Now, in the first 2 weeks of me starting this routine, my hair was really oily, but once my hair got used to the amount of, well, should I say the frequency that I was being washed, it got better. It doesn't take as long to, never mind, you get the idea. Yurikai, hey! You made another stream. Merry Christmas. Cheers for a good 24. Hopefully it's good. It's an election year. And you know what election years mean? It means that you hear unsolicited, unwanted, dumbass opinions from people that you don't want in power. Let's just put it that way. A lot of family dinners are going to be very awkward in 24. Axel Malone, Merry Metal Christmas. Yeah, like Twisted Sister said. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Vile Harpsichord, hey, what you doing? Just watched Crimson Peak tonight. Strongly recommend. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I have the Doom Generation on Blu-ray, which I've been meaning to watch, and I just been so busy working on this upcoming video that I haven't had time to sit down and watch it. But yeah, it has Skinny Puppy in it for about a minute. So yeah, that was the whole point of me purchasing, was just to see Skinny Puppy. Apparently Kevin Key like fractured his knee on set of that movie. Man, that sucks. You know, Skinny Puppy never really had good luck as a band. You know, they've had money stolen from them. They got fucked out of the rights to their music. They've had many falling outs and many clashes with each other over the years. The death of Dwayne, obviously. Oh yeah, label insolvencies. That's another one with the SPV. And this year, they had a couple accidents on stage. I believe Matthew had a chair thrown at him. By accident, of course, but it's still, you don't want that happening while you're on stage playing. And then Ogre, they used to have this routine where, you know, he had his own brain spoon-fed to him. And when they put the spoon in his mouth, Ogre clamped on it too hard. Dustin pulled it out too quickly and too hard. And didn't realize that, you know, he just knocked Ogre's teeth loose. Now, it was a total accident, of course, but Ogre had 4 teeth loose all of a sudden. He went down. If you see the video, that shit looked like that hurt. That hurt me to watch. And he said that the next day he had 4 of his teeth pulled. Because the dentist said, well, we can put splints in these teeth, but that's going to cause you more pain than it would if we were to just pull them. So he had them pulled, and I guess he's had implants since then. Fuck. I can't imagine having to deal with that while on tour. That's what I call an experience. Red Water by Type of Negative is my favorite Christmas song. It reminds me of how depressing winter is for me. If winter is depressing for you, then I highly recommend you get one of these. I got one of these, and it has been a game changer. This is a Verilux Happy Light. This is the version that has it has a timer. It has different shades, I suppose. It gives you a good amount of vitamin D in the morning if you use it just about 20-30 minutes a day on a high setting. Gives you a good amount of vitamin D. And yeah, it's helped me a lot because I've never been diagnosed, but I strongly suspect that I have some form of seasonal affective disorder because I used to get depressed during the winter like that, you know? Especially when it rained. And if it rains all day, oh, I was in bad shape. I got one of these, hadn't had a single issue with it since. So, there you go. I also take a multivitamin, which helps, so there you go. Talking about Slipknot. Hi, how you doing? Sodom or Tankard? Sodom, because I'm more familiar with their stuff, I guess. Use any products you'd like, but preferably I always like to use products free from sulfates, parabens, or any kind of synthetic dyes. Well, that's good. Arch, do I like The Cure? I saw them in May in New Orleans this year, and it was easily one of the top 10 best shows I ever saw. They played for 3 hours, and the shirts were only $25 a piece. Thank you, Robert Smith. Underscore, what's my favorite movie? Fight Club. Evil Dead 2 would be a close second. You're a Kai. I was incredibly stoned last night. Thinking that Gary Newman and David Bowie would have been a great tour combo. Well, there was Bowie and Nine Inch Nails, so pretty close. And there's going to be Gary Newman and Ministry and Frontline Assembly. I'm sure that's also going to be a great combo. Benjamin Kovac, did you see the new Deicide song? I did. I talked about it earlier in the stream. Pretty good. I think some of the lead guitars are a little quiet in the mix, but if they raise those, they sound pretty good. Tell you what I used to do for Christmas every year. The Simpsons released this comic book. Well, I say The Simpsons. There was this Simpsons comic book called Holiday Humdinger, okay? It was like this little graphic novel with Simpsons doing Christmas-related stuff. It was basically like a Treehouse of Horror, but Christmas edition in comic book form. And that's what I used to read every Christmas. And then I don't know. I hadn't read it in a long time, but the last time I even saw that damn book, had to have been 10 years ago. And prior to that, I hadn't even seen the book in years. But when I opened it up and flipped through the pages, it was like muscle memory. That shit was like etched into my brain. Kind of like Bart Simpson's Guide to Life, you know? Vasco de Gama. I don't know what that means, so if anybody wants to translate that, feel free. But yeah, what else can I talk about? I got this little list of things I can talk about. So we're also talking about Christmas stuff. Have any of you seen the new Angry Video Game Nerd episode? He did a new episode on Final Fantasy VI. Or 3 as he calls it for the video, because he's reviewing the Super Nintendo version, the American version. And, yeah. I'm glad that he finally did a video on that game, because he's the one that made me pick it up and play it about 10 years ago, I suppose. Because, like, I was out of gaming for a while, and then my aunt was an extra in his movie. She was one of the hippies. And, she got me an Angry Video Game Nerd shirt. I didn't know who the hell he was. Put the shirt away in my attic for a year. And then finally, a year later, I'm like, okay, so who the hell is this Angry Video Game Nerd guy? So I looked him up, and I've been hooked ever since. I think the new episode at the time was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And it was either that one or Superman 64 as my first AVGN episode. I can't remember. But I was watching the video he did on Sega Genesis versus Super Nintendo, and in that video he mentioned that Final Fantasy VI was one of his favorite games. And yeah, I picked it up and really enjoyed it. You know, I never really delved in RPGs that much. And that was one where I was engrossed in the characters and the story. And in this video, in this new video review he did, he's talking about how the game is associated with winter memories for him, because that was a winter break game for him. You know, he got it for Christmas. It cost like $80 back then, which adjusted for inflation, that's probably like $120 now. And that's a long game. It takes a long time to beat. At least 40 hours. But he said that he had been playing it all year, and then the game glitched out, and he lost all of his save data when he was right at the end of the game. I can't imagine. Actually, I can imagine, because that happened to me with the original Zelda. The original Zelda had a save battery, the NES version. And the way you're supposed to turn the game off when you want to leave, you're supposed to press the reset button and hold it while turning the game off. Okay. Well, one day I was playing it, was right at the last dungeon, and out of habit, accidentally just flipped the switch without hitting the reset button, and I instantly realized what I did. I was like, oh, turn the game back on. All my save data was gone. I was pissed, man. I mean, not that it took me that long to get through all that shit in the game, but it took me a few days before I was in the mood again to play some Zelda, because I was so sour after that. Whew. But yeah, watching that AVGN video, it just made me want to play Final Fantasy VI again. I sold my Super Nintendo and most of my games years ago. I just got out of gaming because gaming just got more and more expensive. When I got back into gaming, I noticed that the games were more expensive than they were when I was a kid because of the video game collecting market. But 2012 is different from now. Like, there were games I bought for $40, $50 10 years ago that are ridiculous now. Super Metroid I bought in 2003 on eBay for about $20 at most. You know, I say I bought it on eBay. I gave $20 to my grandmother, had her buy it for me. But $20. Super Metroid now, I've seen copies go for $80, $90. Like, I understand why people wouldn't want to play emulators, but this is a good argument for emulators. Because, number one, it's not practical to own all of these physical cartridges and spend all this money on these cartridges, but yeah, the money. Like, who the hell wants to spend $90 on a fucking 30-year-old game? Now, as far as Final Fantasy goes, I have 7 on my iPad. I played like 30 minutes of it and never continued for some reason, but I would like to play that at some point. So, yeah. I'm going to finish this video first. It's going to be full speed ahead on the video, and then after that, I'm just going to chill for a little bit. Final harp score. The chaos of the American elections makes me realize how lucky I am to be European. Yeah, you guys don't have as much drama as we have as far as the elections go, because everybody on both sides acts like children. Cheeseman VR, kind of late in the stream, but still back. Well, cool, thank you. Loki, do you listen to Knights Rev? I saw them live twice. Excellent band. By the way, Vasco da Gama is a Portuguese explorer, and he discovered South Africa. I don't know what the hell that has to do with anything, but I thought I'd let you know. Well, that's cool. Thank you. Morshu 1, best Final Fantasy to this day. Dude, the soundtrack is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Just and that pitch and that version of the Final Fantasy theme song, that you know, that a very Christmassy sounding theme. And you know what? So does Zelda: A Link to the Past when you get to the save screen. You know what I'm talking about. Lumi Carhu, Merry Christmas. Where'd you get that Celtic Frost poster from? Thank you so much. I got it from the Metalhead box when they were still doing posters. I hadn't received the Metalhead box in over 3 years, but they're absolutely a great service. I highly recommend it to anybody who is interested in that type of thing. All right, good to see you, underscore. Guy in the back isn't even throwing bolts. He's shooting guns. Oh, you're talking about the bolt throw poster, yeah. Yeah. That was their sci-fi themed album that they did in 2002 with Dave Ingram. Cat is fighting this outdoor cat that comes to my yard through the glass window. Lucas Germano, what's your opinion of the end of Sepultura? As far as I'm concerned, the end of Sepultura was in 1996 when the Cavaliers left. I'll go see the Cavaliers when they tour next time, but I don't give a shit about anything Sepultura did past Chaos AD, so there you go. Like, some people like Roots. I like the concept of Roots, I just can't really get into the album. Banana, I'm drunk, Killbot. Your album's fucking amazing. Glad you like Tales from the Tube. Hopefully you also like Limerence, the single that I released around Halloween. It's pretty fucking awesome, man. And more people should listen to the song. And I've been meaning to do a music video for that song, but I got so damn sidetracked on this upcoming video. And I don't even know what to do for a music video. What do I do for 8.5 minutes for a doom metal song? I don't know. The song might be fucked forever. I hate to admit it, but I don't know. Like, I busted my ass all summer for it, and then barely anybody listened to it. So, there you go. I mean, 60,000 subscribers, just about. And that video did abysmal. I only buy games that are on sale because over 50 euros for one game is crazy. And now it's even worse because, like, at least back then, when you spent $50 on a Super Nintendo cartridge, that was it. You didn't spend any more. Now they got loot crates and DLCs and microtransactions. Fuck modern gaming. Not that I can modern game much anyway, because I live in a place without internet, but man. Like, most of my gaming, like, I play on my phone, and I also play Doom and Blood on the laptop, because that's really most of what I can play. And actually, my Steam is going to stop working in February because my computer's too old. So currently, I'm looking into options for getting a new computer. So there's that. You know, it's time. It's time for a technological refresh, because I'm using OS 10.13. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, why are you using an operating system that old? Because for some reason, when I go past that, most of the apps that I use regularly stop working. Like, I made the mistake of having to download operating systems and then having to use an older backup to re-download the older operating systems. It's bullshit. You shouldn't have to do that. I miss the days when Apple offered you a software update and you trusted that it worked. Now you can't trust it. It's bullshit, man. It's all bullshit and it's bad for you. Owen Clark, all the power, money, and structure in the world revolves around one book. The book before all, the Holy Bible. Yep, it's the world's biggest selling book and probably the least read. Because if more people read it, they'd be like, huh? What? Okay, I guess Yurikai's having a conversation with somebody in the chat about Pantera being a reunion, but they call it Pantera. Yeah. Well, they don't say it's a reunion, but they call it Pantera. Yeah. See, I got in a lot of shit last year for doing that video because a lot of butthurt-ass Pantera fans were like, oh, you don't like it, don't see it. Well, I'm not going to see it. I'm going to go see bands that are true and real. You know, so if nothing's sacred, then fuck it. Why don't we have... why don't we bring the Clash back and have Billy Joe Armstrong front the band? You know, if we're playing that shit. Because, like, here's the thing. Just because a member dies or a member leaves doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the band. But sometimes the sum of the band is greater than its parts. You know? Like Phil and Rex, they should play music together. They should play those songs. They have the right to. They're half of Pantera. But when you have the other half that are dead, they were that sound. They were Pantera. So, I don't know. Okay, and suddenly my laptop has started being weird, but the iPhone's still working. So, I can see the reflection in the mirror that the iPhone's still working. Glad that's going on. Okay, let's read some more comments, because I don't want to be doing this all night. I just want to do a quick stream for all of you lovely people who have nothing better to do. What about some family drama? Any of you have family drama you want to spill? Vile Harpsichord. Why are people sleeping on limerence? For real, it's the best thing you've ever made. Dude, it was, it was a hell of a song to make. And it's fucked up. I was coming up with the lyrics and I was like, man, I hope nobody takes this to heart. Yeah, the internet shadow on the laptop. But it seems to be working okay on the phone, so I don't know. I may have to unexpectedly cut this short. Damn it. But at this point, I've pretty much talked about all the topics I've been thinking to talk about anyway. So, yeah, I guess we're going to say our goodbyes right quick, and then may as well call it. Because right now, the laptop is being a real fucky fuck. Join without mic and cam. Let's try this. We're going to try this. Tony laptop. There we go. Okay, finally we're back to work. Awesome. Zach Durant, XOR. Yep, awesome. Owen Clark, you got kicked out of Pantera for underage drinking and had to pay a $372 fine. And that probably made you drink even more to relieve the stress of that. For the video of limerence, take footage from an old documentary called Titicut Follies. It came out in '67 and documents the horror of mental asylums and mental hospitals at the time. I probably could do that. I don't know. Like, I was hoping it would just be all original footage by me, but whatever. Loki, limerence is awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Impale and Dev, what's up? Hey, just chilling, man. Wore a tool sheet t-shirt during homecoming. Well, that's cool. Bye-bye, cheese man. But, yeah. So, lots of exciting, fun stuff going on. we have been streaming for an hour and 10 minutes. It's mostly been a peaceful Christmas. Heard from all the people I wanted to hear from, for the most part. There's one guy that I hadn't heard from in a while. His mom died earlier this year, and he's been quiet. I've tried calling him and texting him over the summer, and hadn't heard back from him. It sucks, man. You know, it's just one of those things where you know that people go through a hard time, they have a hard year, and you just hope they're doing okay. You know, there was this friend of mine that I was trying to get out of a bad situation. She was stuck in a household with a fucking pervert. Her friend's dad was being a pervert. And then, meanwhile, her boyfriend was with a bunch of lazy-ass people who didn't clean. It was a roach-infested house. She was stuck between two bad situations, couldn't escape it. So I was trying to be an intermediate. And I called up another friend of mine, and I was like, hey, you know, I know you just moved out on your own. If you need another roommate, maybe, I know somebody who will pay their fucking bills on time. And so I got us all into a three-way phone call together, and we laid it out on the table. We're like, look, we'll help you move if you want to move. Just, you know, give it some time, think about it. Hadn't heard from that person since. I asked the other person, I said, hey, have you heard from her? Nope. I don't know what happened. It's a shame. I mean, you try to do good deeds for people, and then, I don't know. Literally didn't even get to listen to the first song, but I looked at Rex for the first time and made the most of the night regardless. That's cool. Joe, unhappy holidays, Killbot. Thank you so much. Zach Duran, what's wrong with Christmas, bro? Well, it's a rip-off of Yule that was stolen by the Christians. It is an economy booster where a lot of people, and the culture surrounds this, it's all about consumerism and getting. Yeah, there's this, you know, kumbaya shit about giving and receiving joy, but nobody feels that in the modern day. Come on now. It's all about going into debt so that way you can buy your friends stuff. So that way nobody gets viewed as selfish. I mean, it's nice on one hand to be able to see people, but also I hate Christmas music with a passion. I can't stand it. And everybody wants to get in religious wars and political wars over it. Oh, there's a war on Christmas. Them damn liberals are trying to ruin Christmas. It's like, no, they're not. You know, you're just making that up for views. Not as crazy as last year, but for the most part, it sucked simply because it's... Okay, cool. File Harp score. The closest I had to family drama is my uncle being a bummer and telling me to stay off my phone, and that's draining my brain and making me stupid. I mean, he's not exactly wrong, but also, you know, sometimes you don't want to listen to them talk about the price of milk. So, hey, uncle, talk about something cool. Benjamin Kovac, what's your favorite black metal album? Under the Sign of the Black Mark by Bathory. I'm also a pretty big fan of Satiricon's Nemesis Divina. Reggie, nay. Buying gifts was really stressful this year. I don't even buy gifts. I don't. Like, I buy a gift card for my grandparents, and that's it. And I tell people straight up, like, don't expect me to reciprocate. Like, you can give me stuff if you want to give me stuff, and you're buying stuff for a million people anyway, but that's it. I'm not doing anything. Because I got my own shit I want to buy. Look, you save that money that you're going to use to buy a gift from me and buy something for yourself. And I'm going to do the same. You know, there's this Bauhaus photo book that I want. It's called Bauhaus Undead. It's like $50 on Cleopatra's website. I want it. All right, stream 47. Hey, there's Hudson. Christmas is Saturnalia. Look at the depictions of Saturn. That's Santa Claus. Yep, pretty much. I honestly would trade all holidays, including Christmas and probably even my birthday, for Halloween, even if I'm already too old for trick-or-treat. See, and that's why I don't really publicize my birthday, because I don't want to get messages from people all fucking day long. People ask me, hey, when's your birthday? I'm not telling you. Nope. a lot of people, they want a lot of attention on their birthday, and I don't. And most of the time, I just don't look forward to it. It's only been the past couple birthdays that have been really peaceful and enjoyable for me, but also, like, you know, I hate getting phone calls from people I never hear from for the rest of the year. Just so they can tell me happy birthday. It's like, either be in my life or don't be in my life. You know? Toss it, Joe. Honestly, I agree with you. Christmas is a consumer's hellhole, and I end up buying gifts out of guilt. Yeah, pretty much. You know, of all the Christmas movies, I think National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation probably covered that topic better than any other Christmas movie. They're talking about classes and how different classes celebrate Christmas. You know, you had the big boss who, you know, he lives in an ivory tower pretty much. He's top down, doesn't see the little people, and he doesn't even think twice when he cuts Christmas bonuses. Then you have Clark's family with the Griswolds, and they're middle class, and Clark, of course, makes an idiotic decision to buy a fucking swimming pool before he has the money to do so. So, I mean, he's not struggling, but he's not really swimming in money either. And then he had the cousins, and they're poor, can't even afford presents, you know. Like, that's the only Christmas movie I've ever seen where they've done that. You ever listen to the German black metal band Kanonenfaber? I think that's how you say it. No, I haven't. Zach Durant. After seeing your Why I Don't Drink video, I decided I'm never going to drink. Well, good for you, man. I mean, that's only a decision that you can make. I'm just giving my own reasons for not drinking. And then you have some people going, I mean, by all means, if you're that offended by my personal health decisions, then shit, man, I can't imagine what you're like when you spill milk, you know? Hudson, I gave a book of mine to a neighbor across the street. Figured he'd enjoy it. Thankfully, he had lots of relatives over. His wife died a couple Christmases ago. Man, that's terrible. There's a sort of friend of mine. Her ex-husband, who was a piece of shit, and she was battling in court. He walked out of the shower one day and had a heart attack. Just died instantly. So it's like, you know, well, she told me, listen, I'm going to go quiet for a while because my ex-husband just collapsed on the floor. So, yeah, you're probably not going to hear from me for a while. I'm like, fuck. It's like, so what do I even say to that? Do I say, hey, so what kind of champagne are you breaking out? I mean, that was the answer I gave to the last person that happened to, and they were like, thank you for understanding the situation. Because, yes, you know, it is okay to be at peace and be relieved when somebody who causes you a lot of stress and trouble in life dies. You know, most people aren't going to think about that because they think it's morbid. Oh, don't speak ill of that. No, fuck that shit. If they're a piece of shit in real life and they cause you a lot of trouble and they traumatize you and they make you feel like shit, then fuck it. If them dying makes you feel better, it makes you feel better. Period. I mean, obviously you don't want to say that to their family, but it's like there was this pen pal I was talking to. She was talking about how her father was this big gambling addict and he, like, didn't pay bills and didn't feed the family sometimes because he was too busy gambling. And he was a piece of shit and he abused them and verbally abused them and neglected them and all this and all that. And the mom left him and took the kids and everything, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, so my dad died this year and my siblings who were in contact with him, they told me about it and they said that this and this happened and there was drama around it and blah, blah, blah. And I said, so what kind of champagne are you breaking out? That's what I said, because I knew how much trouble that person has caused my friend. And the next day she called me up. She was like, hey, so thank you for responding appropriately and with honesty. You get it. Because a lot of people, you tell them, oh yeah, my dad died. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. But when you know the situation, it's like the first 6 Feet Under episode, the HBO series, it's about a family of undertakers, funeral directors, if you will. And in the first episode of the show, they're doing a showing for this person. And Michael C. Hall, he's one of the funeral directors. He's standing behind this old man who's looking down on this dead woman laying in a casket. And he's like, and Michael C. Hall's like, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sure she's in a better place. And the old man's just looking at her. He's like, if there's any justice in this universe, she's shoveling shit in hell. You know what I mean? Toss and chill. I've drank a couple times, and yeah, it's kind of overrated and overhyped. Tasted fine, but Mountain Dew is better. Yes, it is, and that reminds me. Killbot. Sousa C. I hate drinking. I'm 33 and haven't drank since my mid-20s. It's all about weed and natural trip, aside from the force for me. Well, that's, I'm glad that you found what you like. But yeah, you know, today was mostly peaceful for the most part. You know, just got on a good phone call. My mom gave a phone number to somebody yesterday. All sorts of cool things happening. There's an upcoming goth night at the Wicked Witch in Raleigh. And hopefully I see the crew there. It's going to be nice, you know. But, all right, an hour and 21 minutes. I want to go eat something now. So if anybody has any questions, comments, etc., now's the time to say so. Because I hope that your Christmas was peaceful. I hope it was lovely. I hope that you all got presents that you wanted. I hope that everybody behaved accordingly. And, yeah. Sorry, but I'm hella drinking tonight. Family doesn't like me. Okay. What about the true king of sodas, root beer? I love a good root beer in glass. It pairs well with a pizza. Hudson, I'm pretty sure my family were alcoholics and so were their friends. So no lack of really stupid drama. I'm thankful to be done with it. Ain't that the fucking truth, man? Dude, the amount of drunken bullshit that would happen in my teenage years around the holidays, that's one of the reasons I dreaded holidays. You know, and sometimes, and, you know, there were a few people who picked up on it in that Why I Hate Holidays video when I kept talking about family drama, because that's what I had to deal with. And usually, I was the only one cleaning up after all of it. That was bullshit, man. God bless you all. That's good. Thank you. They live, we sleep. Today was peaceful for me as well. That's good. Vile Harpscard. All I want to say is I really love your channel because of your sense of humor, your good taste, and your great personality. Thank you. Thank you so much. Aiden Cat, thanks for the live stream. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, now we're in 23 minutes. Going to wrap this up. So, any closing comments? Anything? I'm going to give it another minute. Then that's it. Okay, so that Christmas money you guys got. I'll tell you what you can spend it on. I got stickers, got Killbot stickers, and I have Killbot patches. I'm selling these for $6.66 a piece. You can buy them on my Etsy. You can buy them on Bandcamp. You can buy them directly from me if you have Facebook or Instagram. Same thing with the stickers. I think I sell these for $3 a piece. I also have shirts. I have hoodies. And, yeah, some merch. You can get some of that stuff on Etsy, on Amazon, on Spreadshop. And you can buy it directly from me. And I can give you a better deal if you buy it directly from me. So, thank you all so much for, joining the stream and grind on. And by the way, Toxic Joe, yes, message me, buy that patch. Grind on, folks.